3 capital letters. And
Yeah.
I was like, no, let's not do
nope,
that.
No, let's not do that.
And PMJ. All right. So I'm going to. Oh, I guess we are live. Oops.
Oh, okay. Are we muted or not muted?
No, we are not muted.
Good enough. All right. Well, welcome back, folks.
I thought we were muted on this one. Apparently not. My apologies to everybody on here.
My guess is we didn't have too many people jump in too early, so hopefully no one got to hear us chatting with each other and discussing why we shouldn't put something in the name stuff. So Garrett Larson here, Dead Body, along with Robbie Herndon. Rob R. Hendon. Hendon, not Herndon. There's an R somewhere there. Yeah.
Hey, Timo's around.
We are. Yay. Hey, Timo. So we are now bringing in, trying to get for this game and the next one probably a loser can't advance game. Not quite a win and in, especially in round 7, because there is still a round left. But I think these guys are both in the position where if they lose this round, there's basically done. Yeah. So we've got Carl Koenig, another of the Columbus folks who's in the midst of doing all the planning for the Columbus Nationals or U.S. Nationals in Columbus in August, versus Pat Johnson. These guys are teammates. Carl and Pat test together quite a bit, chat a lot about decks. We've got Watch Your Step versus Walkers. Pat is playing what's frequently has been called Tom Walkers. It's a lot more big characters and aggressive, a lot less actual Walkers stuff, much more take advantage of blowing the shields and then go after them with the cycling and everything else you can do with Walkers. It's an interesting deck, and playing against Carl, playing Watch Your Step, which was, we see that Pat alternated his third starting effect and starts Decree non-V and a shiny version at that, one of the old tournament foils from many, many, many years ago. And going after, I don't know why his.
I was like, that's pretty cool. I didn't know Walkers got to start with Wampa Cave and Wampa Cave.
So this actually should be a very interesting match. I'm intrigued to see how and where this goes, because Watch Your Step really wants to play a bunch in space, and if Carl's got some way to minimize some of that damage, this could be interesting, and you could very likely see both sides having having no 4-string bonuses going, as Watch Your Step is going to be able to set up Menace Fades at some point. Both these guys know kind of what happens in this matchup. This matchup has certainly been played by both of them somewhat.
I know Carl's put a lot of thought into how to deal with Walkers.
But again, this is Tom Walkers, so it's a little bit different.
Right. But the concept is still similar of you're going to take over the ground, so Watch Your Step needs to be careful there.
And it's called Tom Walkers. If you've played a long time or watched Camp, there was a gentleman who hasn't been around for a little while named Tom. He played a lot of decks where he basically just said, I'm going to put in really high destiny. I'm going to put in the cards that let me put really high destiny back, like Echo Base Destroyed, like Forlom with Gun Virtual. And I'm going to use those really high destinies to abuse things like Choke Vader, Darth Vader, Dark Lord of the Sith, and things of that nature. And this deck was one of the decks he built kind of around that, and Pat's been playing with it for quite a while and really has, done very well with it, and enjoys the style of play, enjoys the deck. So, Tom, if you're watching at some point, we miss you. Come back. You were fun to see, fun to play against. you should come back and play some more. That being said, let's get into this game here. We did stop the stream and restart it. That was something that some folks asked for in chat to, if you hadn't seen the whole thing, be able to catch up before you went to YouTube. All of these streams will be on YouTube as Pat's grabbing his cannons.
Ooh,
Just,
that's bad.
there's a lot of setup here. What's bad?
Pat missed the target pool.
Well, oh yeah, he can't. He can get it with the if he's got the electro,
Yeah,
the rangefinder.
That's true. I don't know if he has
So
that or not. I hope he does. Otherwise, it's going to set him back a little bit.
yeah, setting him back a turn is a little unfortunate. If that does, is what happens, that's a little bit unfortunate because target's got to deploy on the 5th marker, correct?
Yes, I believe so.
Let's double
Okay,
check
he
here.
did have it, so.
Okay.
Unless it's the last card.
Deploy on ice planes, yeah. Did he miss the?
Yeah, it's the first card he activated.
Oh, that is brutal.
Yeah,
that's
so
just that's a ouch.
He's gonna be set back a turn. Oh no, it's in his hand.
Oh, okay. Like
I don't know what he was. Okay, never mind. I missed that in his hand.
All right, that is.
Ooh.
Here I was like, oh my gosh, that's one of those that you just feel so bad when that happens, and you're like, well, I know exactly what it is. It looks like he's got just Veers alone on there. He just drew the Endor or the Hoth system. I don't know if he's going to play that. I think he's actually happy to have drawn that.
And then just toss it.
Because you don't want to give them another system.
Yeah. Not especially when it's strain 2.
Yeah, you feel a little bad losing some activation. Especially because once Watcher Step flips, the 5th and 7th markers are going to drop down to being 1/1s.
Right.
Which does feel a little bad, but I think you've got to do that. Like giving away a drain 2 system.
Yeah.
Is kind of bad. Although with the I must be allowed to speak virtual, the combo. Anywhere he's got 2 smugglers is a drain 2 system. Because all the drain -1 systems, you ignore that modifier.
Right.
So.
But you just.
I know that was part of the discussion. I know that was part of the discussion with this deck. Because Tom had certainly played it using established control and Fondor. And one of the things we talked about in testing was like, if you just get rid of established control and Fondor, turn it into Hoth, you free up a card slot. You free up a starting slot that doesn't feel bad when you can't start established control and then are now just blindly floating Fondor. Like it was a
blindly floating Fondor.
That's why someone, and I'm not going to name any names, but he is devastatingly handsome and spectacular at this game, designed established control virtual. And then he told me about it, so I put my name on it. Figured I'd get that in before you got me with the like, oh, and who was that? So.
I don't actually know who designed that card.
Me. Established control was one of my card designs. I loved the Docking Bay Wars era. I loved parts of what mobilization points did. I loved you get activation off your, controlling your docking bays. And I like established control that says, your docking bays opponent controls are battlegrounds. Like if you want to put out 1/0s and say, hey, I get something for controlling them, you take a risk when your opponent takes them. But I've always felt like that's how non-battlegrounds should work. So we've had this conversation on Slack and the forums and every place else before. Like I'm very clear on what I want to see happen.
So it looks like Carl just pulled activation, Drew, taking things slowly.
And I think that's fine. Like, he's really got to try and find. I know we talked about trying to figure out either a hunt down or like you can't do what chance, but figure out some way to take this 5 that he's going to have to take early. Oh,
Yeah.
not sure what Pat went looking for, but he didn't find it. And Pat's hand looks decent. Like, he's got a choke Vader, he's got a Thrawn.
I don't know if there's anything left in the deck for him to pull. I think he was just verifying stuff.
Could be, because he can't. He wouldn't have another cannon because this deck only plays one walker that you can put a cannon on.
And
there's Blizzard 4. Might have just been a figure out to make sure somebody I want with Blizzard 4 is in there. So
yeah,
there
and his
he's
Hoth
got.
is in his hand, so he didn't. He can't pull that. All his sights are on the table,
Yep.
so he can't pull those. He has.
Yeah. So he
all
probably
his
did
little
just search for a
effects.
site and.
Yeah, he's got
say
all
whatever.
his little devices and stuff out too, so I'm pretty sure it
And
was just to
here's
verify.
Tarkin jumping off Blizzard 1, or jumping off Blizzard 4, moving to Blizzard 1. The whole pile moves to the third marker, which I think is smart. Leaving Blizzard 4 alone is a little risky. Like, I don't think it's too bad. I wouldn't have been crushed if he'd done it, but it's not necessarily the greatest idea ever. And Pat's going to leave a pile of force here, it looks like.
I mean, I don't hate it. Like, I don't
It's,
think Carl can really overflow it by that much. And if Carl's putting smugglers there without really flipping and doing other things, like, I think you're okay with that.
yeah, but I think it's more a.
It's not a
If you
one.
leave
No.
it alone, you're not getting much out of it because you're probably not going to pay for the drain, and your prepare for surface attack damage is capped anyways.
Right. There's not really
So, like,
anything
there,
big to do, but
the
you just.
upside of putting it there is at best you get one more. You get to pay 3 to drain for 1,
Well,
and it
no, the
doesn't.
best side is you get Carl to fall for a trap to go there and you trample or other things,
Carl
but
is.
I doubt Carl's going to do it.
Yeah, Carl's too smart to fall for that trap because, again, the upside for Carl, like, what do you put 3 guys down there minimum to clear the walker and get nothing? By the way, you're getting shot into by Blizzard 1 that's sitting on the. And I'm not sure what just happened there, but
I don't know.
apparently,
He just flashed a Kiara.
yeah. Pat was like, "This is what Kira does." I don't know if he was looking to. I'm still not sure. We'll
Sometimes
have
it'd
to
be
find
nice to
out
have
later.
the audio.
Yeah, that's.
But on the other hand, sometimes it's better not to have the audio. All right, so Luke to Cantina. Doesn't look like Carl wants to deal with Hoth.
All right. Well, I did just throw a note into our team chat. That's I need to know why he just pulled out his Kira to. Like, this is a Kira. This one's shiny. So, Luke to the Cantina's fine. It's just start a damage train.
Yeah, I
Going
mean Carl's taking this really slow, so
and part of that is I think because Carl knows Pat's deck
yeah,
and knows what to expect. Like, he can't because I think if this was more traditional walkers, I would have expected him to go a little light to Tatooine just to get battle order satisfied and take a shot at it.
right.
And he's not doing that. So he also didn't put out simple tricks. So Pat gets to pay 3 to drain for 2, which I think was a mistake. I think he
Wait,
always put out simple tricks there.
why would Simple Trick stop that? It's a battleground. He's at the third marker.
Third marker's not a battleground until he blows the generator.
Mm,
The generator still extends over the third marker. Third marker's not a battleground until the generator is blown. speeders is what shrinks where the generator goes.
That's right. That's right.
Otherwise, the generator always extends to the fourth marker. So this is.
I think I would be okay with it. I'm honestly surprised Carl didn't control it, though. He does have a control in his hand.
Yeah, and that'll blow the generators. And Carl's just peeling.
Which is interesting when
Ooh.
you have a giant stack of cards.
Yeah, like he's got so many cards in hand. It feels like there's gotta have been. Yeah, and some of them are interrupts. Like I would have rather lost some of those than. And here's Pat just saying, okay, well, now we're going to be more aggressive with it.
Yeah, I mean, Pat's
So,
just going, okay, cool. Well, like, if you're not going to do anything, then I will sit here and do this.
yeah. And yeah, target the main generator is just going to stay there doing nothing. Generators are blown away. We're good. And yeah, I think Pat's looking at this and saying, all right, well, if you're going to go super slow, I guess, like, again, that Blizzard 4 withdrawn. The fact is, Blizzard 1 can shoot into that a battle there now.
Yep.
And that's going to get real tricky real quick.
And I mean, Carl's going to have a ton of force, but like that makes squadron assignments less useful.
I mean, but he went with he played the all wings last turn and missed. He had no ships in there, so either they're in there now, which means they're part of the 6 he used to pay for Luke, or they're really all in hand. Like he's got a Falcon in hand, he's got a Kessel Run. I
Yeah,
hope he
he's
knows
got
what
a.
those 3 Destiny are if he's going to go Kessel running.
I think he's just trying to put together ships and pilots at this point.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, I mean, he's got a pile of force there. So, and he does appear to be pulling out some of the different pilots to kind of think through his lines and options. Hmm. I'm not sure what he's thinking of doing here.
Probably
He might have
cursing
just
us
grabbed,
for
probably like,
putting him
why
on
did you put
stream.
me on stream in this
Yeah,
matchup of all things?
yeah.
So I am curious if he knows if those destinies will get him through a Kessel Run, or if he's going to have to wait another turn to put down Kessel Run. Like he's got to get that rolling too.
Yeah, the longer he
Splashing
takes,
Corin.
the
All right. So it looks like those will succeed for the Kessel Run. He'll get it on 3, which means he'll finish it during Pat's turn if he wants to. Or yeah, he'll finish it during Pat's turn. And that seemed like a real early play for Corin. Like if you're going to deploy anything else, you'd have wanted to do that first to get the Destiny to have more cards to pick from. All right, so he's got the What Chance, the gorgeous horizontal foil What Chance. And Han, Chewie, and the Falcon. Not sure I wouldn't have held Chewie to react with. He comes down super cheap as a react that way.
oh lucky.
Yeah. There's a 5, and a 4, so he's got it. There's his friend Talon Card. So his objective is flipped. Has been for a while, but his objective is now flipped. And now he's going to get another card with from the I Must Be Allowed to Speak combo. And that also will shut down the image of the Dark Lord,
Yep.
as the drains can't be modified. So,
And Menace fades. So
I mean, Carl's setting this up pretty nicely. He accidentally put his use file in his reserve deck, but there, Pat. Pat's fixing it. So,
we'll let him think he could battle somewhere. Well, he drew one of his pilots.
shouldn't he have move phase taken a card off Kessel Run?
Probably.
Yeah, that's I don't think that's a May. Mm,
No, I don't think so either.
it should
It
be
is
on top
definitely
of
an
his.
auto.
You want to shoot Chris a message, or you want me to?
You can. He responds to you faster. Something about being tournament advocates bonding. Well, no, it should be. There you go. There we go, Carl.
Okay, so Carl just did it now and then lost it. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know if Chris actually read my text yet, but
Well, his
just
foot's
told him it
standing
was
there.
fixed. Okay. I just see someone's foot standing there. I didn't know that you've watched his OnlyFans enough to recognize his feet just from that one angle.
You hang out with
So
Chris enough, you recognize his feet anywhere.
I've seen that shoe somewhere before.
Yeah. It was imprinted across my face.
We see the ping of one, and now Pat's gonna pay 3 to drain for I think just one. Yeah,
I
and
might have just taken it back.
changed his mind. He's like, "Oh, Menace
Yeah.
Fades is there, huh?"
Yeah.
All right, go for the ping. That makes sense. And Carl drops aim high and says, "You're gonna have to start paying for it."
Yeah, Carl, you still gotta lose the one. You can't just
Well,
grind it
it's
and not
more. I
lose.
think he was trying to figure out if he had enough to pay for the Kessel Run retrieval, and I don't think he does.
No, but he doesn't have to. Oh, wait, is Han a May or not?
Han is. Well, actually, I think Han is a whenever. Here, let's.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just whenever. So he can wait.
Yeah, if exactly one card here may take it into hand. Okay,
Yeah.
so yeah, he can wait on that until his turn.
He could even wait till his move phase.
Yeah, I mean, he could.
If he doesn't want to take grappling hook into hand. Or
Yeah,
heavy thaw, whichever one.
I feel like he'd be happy to take grappling hook into hand just to give him a second grabber for whatever else obnoxiousness we're gonna see.
Yeah, and this setup from Carl is fairly safe too from PMJ. Like the Walkers is gonna have a hard time attacking into any of this.
Yeah, like he's got Choke Vader, but Choke Vader alone can't
Against
really take on the Cantina.
no.
You know, like you have good Destiny, and you can, in theory, go, all right, I'll drop him, I'll choke Talon, but you still got to draw. Corin still forfeits for 7. So, like, that's a
Yeah,
tough.
like yeah. I mean he could drop him to Mos Eisley and set up another drain, but he's paying for his drains because he doesn't have space yet.
Yeah, I'd rather see him figure out some sort of space to set up, but Carl's also not giving him a spot to set up in space.
Well, I mean, there's plenty of spots to set up, but like Carl's deployed one
Oh yeah, I
ship,
guess
and
Corellia's way over there.
yeah, I mean, there's Carillion
I
and
was forgetting
Tatooine up,
Corellia.
so
Tatooine's
there's.
not a good spot because he doesn't have any starship hit. Well, I guess he's got Maul and ship who can
I mean, he
get
can
around.
he can go there, but Carl hasn't dropped Dash, he hasn't dropped Merrick's. He's got other ships. I think he lost one early, so I'm not sure which one it was, but he's got other ships, so PMJ just
Yeah,
can't be like, oh, I'll just lollygag into space and everything will be fine.
yeah, yeah. He's got to be. He's got to play this somewhat cautiously and just know, okay, if I get
Or he's just
jumped,
gonna go for it.
or
I
he's just
guess
gonna
that
YOLO
is,
it. All right.
yeah. I mean that is technically not ability 6 there.
Yeah. I mean, he's got a point. If he's got maybe like the EPP Forlom, Forlom with concussion rifle, the non V,
But
who
they're
adds a
still
battle
adding a
destiny.
ton of power.
I mean, they're 9 power.
Yeah. To
Like
4.
you're okay with that to 4
Mm,
plus destiny, and the destiny in this deck is really good, so you're probably not falling too far behind that. It does look like okay, he's not even adding a pilot.
power 11
He is gonna go with the moving to attack position. So he's fully immune
and power 11.
and power 11. So now Pat really does need to draw great. And that was kind of the concern. Like you knew he had that in Lost Pile.
So Pat loses 2.
Yep. And gains nothing from doing it.
Yeah.
Like that's the
And so isn't Falcon's only immune to 5, so yeah, I mean he could have.
Falcon's fully immune with the moving to attack position.
Right, but before that. But I mean he should have known that there were 2 in there.
Yeah.
Carl knew.
Yeah. I see Sam's, I don't care for Splashball. It's a lot of resources to just get blown out next turn. And I think you might be right. Like, I feel like
I
Pat
like
might have
this
wanted to
deck.
put a guy on there.
I mean, I like the deck. This was what I was gonna play in Vegas until I almost died. But uh, like I like it because you can do other things rather than just set up on Hoth and hope it's enough. But
Yeah.
you know, it does
It
take some pieces
lessens
to find.
it lessens your Hoth damage. It makes it harder for you to just turn it into a huge drain race, but it gives you a lot more outs
Right,
if you
to
play
other
them
things.
appropriately.
Right. Like it has a lot of play to it, but there is it's more susceptible to speeders and stuff, which in Vegas I
Yeah.
didn't think anybody would be on. And so to me it just felt, you know, like a good meta call at that time. Um he has a ship in there now.
And Kessler runs place out of play, Carl.
It stays. It's out of play.
Okay. It's just
It's
next to Kessel, so
it's off the side. It's out of play.
all right.
But yeah, like I really like the Tom Walker's deck. Like I think Carl just knows what he can't just, you know, float around and hope it's enough. Like he knows what he has
Is
to.
that the Outrider or this?
It looks like Pulsar Skate.
Yeah, I'm like it has no text or very minimal text box, so are we gonna see Dash and Boshek piloting the Pulsar skate? Like I remember that scene in the movies.
I mean, kind of need to get him out of getting Zuckus out of space. So
Yeah. And I think we are gonna see that. And then I think Wedge is gonna I mean, I almost think you throw Wedge down as a passenger, just so then if you lose a guy, you move Wedge into the.
I mean, he's got another moving attack, I think, in his hand.
Yeah, he does. Good point.
So Boshek makes it immune if he wants to.
Well, it makes it immune anyways. It's just you lose the power +2 if it's Carillion, I think.
Oh yeah, sure. Yeah.
And he doesn't even bother with that. He just draws the 2 Battle Destinies.
And you could also be okay losing dash
Yeah,
and getting them back elsewhere.
probably is just fine losing dash and saying okay.
Or we're gonna both be wrong. He's gonna lose Boshek. Okay, you know what? I'm tired of predicting what Carl's gonna do because I don't know what he's gonna do now.
Thank you, Mike Pistone, for subscribing. Have it on full screen so I don't see the
Oh, it's
36
36
months.
months.
Awesome. That hits you at 3 years and gets you email marketing at swccgpc.com or org or whatever it is, and get some new foils coming the next time stuff gets shipped out. I actually just hit 2 years earlier today, so I did the same. Shot an email over to Jared and said, "Hey, I get something cool now." And Carl just moves the skate over and says, "All right, I'm gonna back myself up." Carl is playing this very, very
Yeah,
patiently.
he is, and I definitely think he's ahead right now.
Yeah, and I like how patiently he's playing it. Like I think this is the right way to go with that, because you're not. That's the thing with this Walker's deck is it's not gonna. It can blow you out if you're not ready for it, but you have to.
Right. Like, and I mean, if PMJ only drops Zuckus, you kind of feel pretty safe that he's not got a ton more space in his hand right now.
Yeah. So I will say, especially with the way that turned out, though, I really dislike not putting a second pilot on, or not putting a pilot on Zuckus.
Yeah.
Like, I guess I'm not sure it would have helped a ton because he still would have lost Zuckus and the pilot.
I just would have dropped Zuckus somewhere else, in my opinion. Like,
Yeah, like you could just drop Zuckus at Corellia and, all right, we're going to drain race here. Like,
right.
I don't know that that's great, but you're doing all
I mean,
right because right
I
now
just
he's,
don't. Zuckus is not like, yeah, okay, cool, you stopped their destiny, but he's power 4. It's not a
yeah.
lot to do.
I would have liked to see someone with Zuckus.
Right.
And
Or
there's the no escape to
Zuckus
get back
not
Zuckus.
there.
All right. The no escape to get back Zuckus is cute. What are you going to do with Zuckus now?
Well, he's not going to Kessel this time, I hope.
Nope. And like, Carl's got a ship in hand. He's got the Outrider. So like
But
he
he
can't
also has
just,
Dash on the table, so
yeah.
less worried about Outrider. You just got to have 2 random
There's
smugglers.
Dre and Ponda. Probably P59.
Maybe
Yep.
Vader too. Yeah.
I'd imagine.
Oh no, Mara. That's fair.
All right. So in theory, you're like, all right, I'm going to kill 2 guys because yeah, he'll have to pay for the
The Ant-Man. I mean, Carl's
Antilles
also got
maneuvers.
dodge too for the Mara swing, so.
Yeah, but the Antilles maneuver plus Luke being there is going to make it cost a ton.
Oh, he costs 2 per.
Honestly, if I'm Pat, I might not battle that. Like Carl doesn't have any way to make you lose guys during
No,
control phase. There's no draw their fire, draw their
he
fire
can
first strike
shuffle
thing
out.
talking about. I think you're okay if he shuffles out though.
Well, you can shuffle a guy out and drain with them, and
It's
then
move phase though.
well, unless he has the shuffle.
Yeah, it's no, because virtual cantina is move phase, not
Oh,
control.
I see.
So if he doesn't battle and then just shuffles his guys out, you're now saying, okay, well, you're going to drain for 1 and I drain for 2. Like I'd be okay with that if I'm Pat. So, and I think Carl's going to have some sort of answer for that. Yeah, I mean, that's the other option, Sam, is just saying, all right, I'll drain you for 2 at Kessel, and let's, make something happen here, or force you to make something happen. I think I would reinforce a little bit, though. I don't think I'd be comfortable just completely sitting.
Well, and I mean, it also depends on how much PMJ saved. Like, if you can, um,
And Carl
I don't really.
going with his, I think he thought he had something else in there that he doesn't have. So he's got to pay 2 to go grab Unita
Yeah.
or Hujix that is not in there. That's a little unfortunate. Yeah, Sam, I don't know that I would necessarily want to run away from that. Giving up that drain 2 site is bad. Is bad for Carl. But I think you got to reinforce somehow a little bit. You can't just,
I mean, he's got a dodge in hand, so he could certainly
yeah.
leave a guy there and dodge away, and then
Did he
he
just
can
play
move
an
to the
empty
he can move
outrider?
to Mos Eisley, dodge to the docking bay. Now he's draining for 4 for free, and
Yeah,
PMJ's got to pay, and
yeah.
it's not
It's,
the
yeah.
it's not
Yeah.
super amazing for him. Oh, he already
Yeah,
had the
PMJ just
Unita.
pointed out like he has to pay for the has to play a pilot with the outrider. You can't just drop an empty outrider there. There's Boshek, who's cute.
No.
It's fine.
Yep. I'm
Is
actually surprised Carl's not putting him in space, to be honest.
um
You need the ability 4, I think, to get around Zuckuss in space more than the ground.
yeah, and yeah, he doesn't. I mean, he's got Melas in the deck, but no, he doesn't have anybody in hand. Like I think he's got to figure out the. I mean, in
Yeah, I
theory,
mean,
you
he's
could.
like I said, I think I would. Okay, good. Yeah, I think I would put him in space, and then, like I said, I would move 2 guys to Mos Eisley, shuffle them out, leave Luke
Leave
there,
Luke,
and then
dodge out of the battle.
dodge away. And if PMJ wants to follow you, so be it. He's giving up the drain 2 for a drain 1, but now you've opened up more damage for you, and yours is all free.
So now we're seeing the ship docking. So we've got Boshek and
Boshek on
Dash on the
Outrider.
outrider, and I like moving them to Tatooine.
Yeah. So now he's opened up more drain
So
potential. But the other reason why I don't think it's bad for Carl to give up that site too is he's got at least 2 controls, and he can just
yeah,
make PMJ pay 3, and Carl plays control and then plays it from Lost, and then he can soak up a lot of damage with just that alone.
yeah. I think you're. I'm not saying you're not wrong. You're not wrong there. Like I think you're right. He can just continue to play this slow and steady, and I think he's doing. I think my concern would be if PMJ's got the uh,
Well, PMJ can
Vader,
pay. Here's the other thing: PMJ
he
can
can
pay if
pay
you're
3 to
drained
drain
for
for
2
2. Yeah, because
because Menace Phase is off.
yeah, he doesn't control a site. But I don't know that PMJ wants to. Like those Destiny look. That's a lot of good choke Destinies. That's a lot of things that are bad for. There's the choke. He didn't retrieve with the objective, I noticed.
Well, there's a reason not to rely on the dodge, but
Yeah. Hmm. And there's the battle start, I believe. And Carl's got to decide. Yeah, you can't dodge them all the way. I mean, you can theoretically try and dodge the.
well, that was the choke,
Oh,
right? Because he didn't pay.
yeah, I'm sure that was the choke. I think that was good for him.
That was definitely good for Carl.
Yeah.
Uh,
Although, I mean, there's still 2 shots. Like,
yeah, but he has to pay, and Carl can dodge the swing. So like,
You just cancel the dodge.
oh, that's right.
Like you can.
Sure.
So I think what you see here is, I think if I'm Pat, I'm swinging at Talon, because then you make Corin
No.
easier to hit. You're going straight at Luke.
Yeah, I'd go straight at Luke and then
All right,
pop off a shot at Talon.
all right. I think I would have gone. I guess I would have gone Talon. Like no matter what, they're canceling, and yeah, dodge is unique, so he's still. And now it's a free fire. That's a miss, I think.
No, it was a hit. 4+1.
It's yeah, isn't Talon card? Talon should be defense value 5, isn't he?
It was just
At same location, your smugglers reach forfeit +2 and defense value +2.
yeah.
So Talon wasn't hit.
Mm, you can let Chris know. Unless there's something we're missing, because P59 fires at +1.
Yeah, that's because yeah, he should have been 5 defense value, not 4. So
Yeah.
let's see if they can recreate this, because
Uh,
that would have changed a whole pile of things. And it
they're
might be
going
too
so
late.
fast. Yeah. At this point, I would
Yeah,
think it'd be too late. They've played too fast. And I mean, it's up to Carl to know his cards on that one. Like, you got to know that Talon buffs himself.
yeah. That was a huge mistake though, and that they've done so much since then to try and
Yep.
recreate the whole thing would have been real hard. But yeah, that's why I was like, I would always go after Talon first, because it was as easy to hit, almost as easy to hit Luke as it was Talon. And now he
Yeah, but
moved
Luke makes you
this,
pay,
yeah,
and
now
he's
he
more
moved the
forfeit.
skate over with just wedge, knowing Pat has a Zuckus in hand.
He's got moving.
Yeah, he's got moving. It'll keep him alive, I guess. And then you're probably not
And then
outpowering him though.
uh,
No, because
8-4.
you'd be at 7. The skate's only a 2, so it's
Okay, yeah.
5, and then +2 is 70, or 4 plus destiny. The odds of Pat drawing below a 3 is, I think, slim.
It was 1 out of 4.
Yeah,
It was 1 out of 4 for a 3. So
yeah. So Pat's again not draining. There's Maul and Scimitar. So now I think you see he'll add a destiny to power
yeah,
with Maul and go for it. I think Carl tilted a little bit when he lost the cantina like that,
yeah,
and I think that was bad.
yeah. Because I mean, he should still have his. It could be worse. He should still have maybe
Yeah.
the Hoojiks.
Yeah. No, I mean, he's in a good spot up there, and he's got to pay 3 for the attack position now, just to
He's got one in hand too, so he doesn't
take
have to
less of
play.
a beating. Yeah, or he's paying 3 for something, but he's going to take less of a beating, I think. Does he even have an attack position now in there?
No, he's got one
He
in hand.
doesn't.
He
Yeah, so what
retrieved
is
the
he
other one, I
playing
think.
from? So what is he even trying to play from?
I don't know.
I mean, yeah, he was digging for the it could be worse. You could see it was in his reserve deck a couple times. He was trying to find it earlier, and I do think he would have had a shot at it, but it just didn't quite work out. So now he put 3 on, and then he, I think, used the
Yeah,
outrighter
to
to
put
pull one
the.
off.
I guess he's not going to moving at all. I mean, the top card in his hand is moving.
Yeah, but I think you have to pay a force, and he doesn't have a force for it.
Why does he have to pay?
I thought moving was cost a force. Oh, okay. Oh, it wasn't outrighter that it's that card itself that stacked it and then
Yeah, yeah.
put it away. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure moving
Oh,
is free. Yeah, moving is free. It's always been free.
is it? Okay. I thought it cost a force for some reason.
No.
All right. Well, congratulations to Pat Johnson
Yep.
pulling out the win, taking, going to be,
I thought, like I said, I think I would have left the cantina. Let let him. I mean, he's got a massive stack there. Like, just let him have it. You've got, it
yeah.
could be worse. You've got, controls. Like, if he wants to keep paying, let him pay. Who cares?
Yeah. I
Um,
mean, it was a,
get away from him. Set up on another site. Hold your space so he can't pounce like he does. Like, I don't think Pat's winning that game unless he can establish a foothold in space.
yeah, it
And
was, he had
I
a
think
chance.
I just think
I,
Carl opened that door for him by leaving those guys there. Because, like, this deck. Like, I mean, Carl knows this deck.
yeah.
The, not just because he plays against PMJ, but like we tested before Vegas, and this is what I was on too. So like he knows this deck. He knows what character base you can drop on him. Like that's like I just don't think you can sit there with Doctor E on the table, sit in front of Doctor E with no Doctor E protection. Like if you had, you know, Bull Leader or whatever to stop Doctor E, then sure, fine. But like, nobody plays that. So you're not going to sit in front of Doctor E. You shouldn't sit in front of Doctor E and
Yeah.
just
It's,
give up. Like, who cares if PMJ wants to pay 3 to drain for 2, you start canceling it for a few times, and you just keep your like. You need to keep
yeah.
as much focus on space, because if PMJ has to pay, Walkers is not winning. As soon as you let
Yeah.
them get the free drains, that's where Walkers gets ahead. And I think PMJ played that well to get him to do it. I think he took advantage of Carl's mistake of hanging out and was able to,
Yep. I
get a,
agree. I think Pat
find the
played it.
space that he need and got there just fine.
I think Pat played it well and took advantage of the spots he was given. And that's all you can do sometimes is like, okay, well, this
Right.
is going to be a tough matchup. I got to take these spots where I need to and go from there.
And I think Carl had some trouble obviously matching ships and pilots, which
Yeah.
whenever Watcher Step has that problem, it's never a fun game for you as the Watcher Step player. But like those are the breaks you play when you play that deck. Like sometimes you just have trouble doing it. I can't remember all the times I watched people back in '03 play Watcher Step Raiders and they never had trouble, but every time I played the deck, I could never get them out. I swear to God, I thought people were shuffle cheating.